one of the best treats that I wanted when I was growing up was the polvoron. The story is that when the Americans came to the Philippines, they brought with them powdered milk. And what do you do with powdered milk? They came up with this recipe, and as I remember growing up, there was no electricity in our area. And so we have to come up with some recipes that does not need electricity, and this is one of them. Okay, how to do the polvoron is a mixture of flour, powdered milk, sugar, of course it's butter, okay? And I changed the recipe a little bit. I put sunflower seeds on it. This is raw, and this is how it's done. The first thing you do is you have all these ingredients, and the flour is toasted. I don't want to burn the place. I already pre-toasted this, so this is already almost ready to go. This is the flour is toasted for about 20 minutes on a medium heat. Okay. And I just want to warm this up so that it will be ready for the butter. Okay, and who does not love butter? What you do with the butter is you make it liquid, you know. But because this was done earlier in the morning, I need to warm it up a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna warm up the ingredient instead because my butter is already cold. All right, so pretend this has been 20 minutes. Okay, and what we do with this is we put in the rest of the ingredients. I'm going to lower my heat a little bit. I don't want it to scorch. So this is made of, I just mix it up. It's sugar, powdered milk, a little bit of salt. Also, I added flaxseed for those of you who want to be healthy. Of course, you want flaxseed, right? So I added that and a little bit of salt. And then I add sunflower seeds, and this is raw, so that when you eat something raw, it has all the enzymes, it's good for you. Or rather than being roasted, this is more nutritious. So to make it simpler, I just mix everything up and pour it in, mix it up. Alright? Thank you. So I'm going to warm this up because my butter is cold. So now I am going to turn off my pan because I don't want this to burn. Okay? Here is the butter now. This is melted butter. And of course, when you cook at home, you always wash your hands, right? Because we're working with food, but because I'm here, I forgot to wash my hands. Alright, so I'm just going to pour it. The butter is cold, you know, it's no longer liquid, so I'm going to put it in warm mixture here so it will melt. And normally this should be liquefied butter. But you know, you improvise. When you're doing a demo and it's not perfect scene, you improvise. So I'm going to turn back the heat a little bit on so that the butter will melt. And the good part is, after we do the demo, I'll have some of you do the real thing, come up here and do it for me. And do it for everybody, okay? Because the best way is to have the experience. Not just look and wait and see, but you have to do it. Some of you brave souls out there, come up here and do it. So that, you know, one of the best things that you do for the family is do tradition. And this is what I do with my grandchildren and my family. I teach them the Filipino way of life. I teach them how to cook Filipino food, Filipino desserts. Because we are here in America and everything we see is about America and all the other nationalities. Why is it that on TV we don't see any Filipino food being shown on the Food Network? Why is that? It's usually Mexican or Italian food or any other foods, but not very much of Filipino food. I want to start a tradition. We want to be proud of our heritage. So you need to teach your children how to do this. Alright? And that's what I do with my family. So this is now, if you're here, you can see that they are now getting, mixed now. The powder is now incorporated with the butter. So this is almost done. Okay. This is the traditional way of making the polvoron. And polvoron, what does it mean? What does polvoron mean? Or polvo? Anybody know? Powder. Powder, exactly. Because it's all powder. And if you don't know what to do with it will turn back to powder. If you don't, what you do with the polvoron is after you form it, you'll refrigerate it so that it will harden, and then you put it. I have an easy way for you to show how it's molded. Because traditionally in the Philippines, we have the polvoron mold. Anybody of you have seen the polvoron mold made of like little metal? I used to do that. And one day I was doing that, and while doing it, my finger here got blisters. So I told Ben, can you give me a hand and help me forming the polvoron? And he says, of course. Ben says, of course, I will help you. And so he did it. But while he was doing it, not even halfway, he broke the mold. So, of course, I thought to myself, what am I going to do now? How am I going to continue this? So anyway, I have this little pan. At the time, I have a pan that we bought in Australia when we went there. This was in 2010. And so I thought, maybe I'll try it with the pan. And of course, the pan was similar to this, but the holes were bigger. Okay, so I said, well, let me just try it. And so when I tried it, after I put them here, I refrigerated it, and it turned out really nicely. So I said, this gave me an idea. And so this is how the whole thing was born. And so I said, okay, let me do that, put the polvoron here, and this is exactly how I do it. So I have this little scoop, okay? Now I turn off the heat, right? So, but the mixture is still warm. So what you do with the mixture is you get some of it like this, all right? This is warm, remember? And you press it a little bit, okay? Just to see about this much, and then you put it in the mold like this, all right? The next step is I have a little plastic wrap, all right? You put the plastic wrap here. Now, if I want the polvoron to be small, I use this end. And by the way, this is for the tart thumper. Don't be surprised by the shape. It's very, very useful. It has more than one job. This part here is to do the polvoron. This part here is to do the shell for the tarts. Okay? But I'm going to make this a smaller polvoron, so I'm going to use this end here. What you do is just press this.
Let me interrupt a little bit. Okay. Yeah. This gadget, my wife invented this one. This is patented. I call this ladies the light.
Alright, somebody want to come up here and see and make polvoron for everybody? Somebody who wants to try it? Come over here. Come over here.
More than one.
Come over. Come over. Come over. This way.
Okay. Up the stage, up the stage.
Yeah. So you just cook with this. Alright, while Chris is making it, you can try the polvoron. We don't have exactly all polvoron. We are mixing it with some tarts. Also, I started with a new, what I call the macapuno tart, which is, the filling is made of young coconut. I wanted to try that. Is that
Eat nicely, do not make a mess in the center.
Yeah, very simple. And you fill this up, and after you fill this up, you refrigerate it, and of course, you have to leave it in the pan like this, and you cover it up so that there's no dirt will come to it. You cover up the whole thing. Refrigerate this for about 2 hours until the pulveron is hardened. If it hardens, it's easy to do. And then what you do is you just push it like that. But by the time, 2 hours, it hardens and then you pull it up. See how it's already formed?
Shaped, yeah.
Right. Because if you eat it right now, it's edible, but you know what's going to happen if you eat it?
It's gonna break.
It's going to break apart. It's going to be all over the place because it's powder.
Okay.
All right? So it's okay, Pastor Day, for them to eat it here or how? You want to try it?
Eat properly.
Here we go. Here. This is one. So,
Do not drop it on the floor. Here, I'll put it in your mouth.
yeah, and then you cover it and you make it push it. Yeah, if you don't want it to be full, yeah. If you want it to be bigger, you fill it up like the nail, you push it harder. Yeah, make it so that it will not.
It will move.
Yeah.
Who started eating it? You like it?
All right, and so if some of you got the tart, right? So the other one is for the tart. That's a demo for another time. It's not for today, but enjoy. All right. Any questions? Thank you so much. All right. I just want to. Board, you need to unplug this.
Okay, I need to get Tim up here. Next one up. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you.
That presentation was very well thought of. Mine is not like that. So as Pastor Jay says, this is a very popular street food in the Philippines. It's very easy to make. It only takes, this presentation only takes like a minute. So we're going to need like probably the measurements. You can take any fish you want. You can take a kilo of fish, 3 tablespoons of cornstarch, and 1 tablespoon of baking powder, and a pinch of salt. That's it. So you would need like a blender. First of all, take your fish, put it in the blender. And then take your the cornstarch, the baking powder, and salt, and you just puree it. No liquid. No liquid. So you can take any blender. If you have a food processor, just use that. So after it's pureed, it's going to look like this. Through the magic of laziness and TV, it's going to look like this. So it's pureed, okay? And the very important tool that you need, which I know if you can find it, it's so hard to find. You would need like 2 spoons, alright? So take the spoons, get a little scoop, and try to make a ball. 2 spoons, just try to make a ball, and then drop this in water so it won't separate. So after you drop it in water, if you haven't collected enough, just go ahead and it'll look like this one. After you boil it in water until it floats. So it's going to look like this. Do you see it? Okay. So once it's in this form, you can fry it. So just fry it until it's golden brown or any texture you want. And you can get any sauce, vinegar, soy sauce, and whatever. So that's it. Very easy to make. So after this one, after the program, just make sure go back to the kitchen. There's going to be like samples made for you guys. Wow. Yes, question?
What kind of fish do you use?
I used sway. Sway. SWAI. Swai. It's a nice kind of fish because it's not very smelly. Not like tilapia or anything.
Why?
Swai. I don't know